Hello and welcome back to the weekly Q&A. Here we are in front of my PC, sick. I'm still sick. Probably still going to be sick for another day or two. Tomorrow I'm actually going to do a test run at recording something because I have a stack like this of adventure-worthy games that I need to get through. I don't know if the stack would be physically this size, but I imagine it being at least this size. In Steam. I don't even know. But still, I'm sick, and if the quality of this Q&A is lowered by that fact, then I apologize. But I really need to record something to go live tomorrow. I'm recording this on Thursday evening, hoping that the upload will be completed by tomorrow evening sometime. That's Friday, so before the weekend. And then tomorrow I'll see about the next day's content, and we'll just see if it goes all right after that. I'm hoping that tomorrow's test run of recording goes well and I can get started on pumping out the content again. I was really lucky with the fact that I recorded a stack of Metro, like 6 or 7 episodes of Metro in a row the other night, and then BioShock Infinite the next morning, and then that same day, that evening, I got super sick. I just felt so bad. It's like the mother of all colds, and what can I say? It seems to happen at least once every winter, and now, with it out of the way right at the start of winter, I have high hopes for the rest of this season. So that's that. Thank you for everyone sending me the well wishes on Twitter, on Facebook, on the videos and stuff. The only thing I've been able to really get out is Newsman, and I'm probably going to do another Newsman tomorrow to go up with the Q&A, because that's the one thing that I do with like thousands of takes. So I record little snippets at a time. Hello and welcome back to Newsman. It's the blah 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 in this episode, and then I can stop if I want to. And then I can continue. Straight up. That's the one thing I can record easily while sick. I wouldn't say easily though. I had such a bad headache on Wednesday when I was trying to record Newsman. I don't even know why. Okay, it was one of those congestive headaches, probably because I was sniffing too much snot, and I don't want to talk about headaches. I just don't. So, I'm doing this one take and one take only. There's no way I restart this because I want to finish it and get into bed. I've been spending a lot of time in bed, and it's not the fun kind of time that I want to spend in bed, although I have been watching a bit of Battlestar Galactica. Whew. That show, it's got me hooked. It's amazing. It is so good. So if you have any questions about Battlestar Galactica, fire away because I can't wait to answer them. I'm loving it. I don't want to tell you what my favorite characters are or what my favorite episode's been thus far or what I think about the story and plot on the whole, because I'll just leave those as potential questions. Someone's going to go and type all of those as questions. Now I can see it happening. But it's been intense. Now, I'm watching the one from, 2002 or 2003. I think there was a Battlestar Galactica, like, long ago. I'm not watching that. And I'm watching it on my phone. It's so good. It is. I just lie in bed and watch it. I wish I had an iPad or something like that, or a really light laptop, so I could watch it on something slightly bigger. But then again, that would probably bother Helene when she's trying to sleep. Anyway, been doing that. I know I don't really have to tell you guys what I've been doing, but I'm going to do it because it's been so long since I've uploaded a Q&A, which, is terrible of me, but I'm going to keep them coming regularly now, and this is sort of tying in with what we were talking about and discussing in the last channel update. And that channel update I've also still got a few things to do with. I've been, in any free time I've got right now, going through all the comments and taking the bits of information and the bits of help and the bits of input and the bits of suggestions and stuff and like categorizing them to see what you guys really said, because it's a bit difficult just skimming through 200 comments and trying to remember how many people said this, how many people said that, because there are a couple of games that come up a whole lot of times. So if a game is mentioned like 10 times in the comment section of a video, the same game, then it's definitely going to be worth considering for me to check it out or do something with it, or at least consider it. So, I didn't reply to any of the comments in the channel update for that reason, because I'm actually going through all of them, and I was thinking of, maybe I'll do this tomorrow as well, because it's also something I can do while I'm sick, as it's just a discussion type video. I was thinking of doing a follow-up to the May channel update, and I'm not going to call that the June channel update, because that's going to be a whole different thing. And then in that video, I'll just discuss what was said in it, what we can take from what was said in it, and what I'm actually going to use and apply to the channel and all that stuff. But anyway, what I've been doing is I've been playing a bit of Scrolls. I'll just look at the icons on my desktop and tell you. I got Scrolls today. I started playing it a little bit, and I gotta say it's pretty fun. Now, one thing I don't like that much about it, thus far at least, is that it feels a little bit simplistic at the start, and that's mainly just because you don't have access to that many different scrolls, so you can't get fancy with your deck building and stuff. But I think that was obviously a design choice. They don't want people flustered with too much going on, or by too many scrolls right at the start. Now, you can buy scrolls with gold or whatever, but it takes a while to earn the gold, and so on and so forth. So I thought it was a bit simplistic. Even gameplay wise, it does feel a little bit simple right at the start. And you guys may not know this about me, but I'm actually reasonably good at collectible card games. Hey! I don't know why I didn't play very much Magic on Steam or whatever it was, Duels of the Planeswalkers. I can't remember what it was called, but I didn't play very much of that. I did play a lot of just normal tabletop Magic, and I'm okay at it. I suppose reasonably good is good enough. But I'm really enjoying Scrolls. I am much more looking forward to Hearthstone from Blizzard. It just looks more like my kind of thing. Although I like the fact that they mix turn-based combat with collectible card gaming in Scrolls. There's that little genre mashup going on in there. Although it's... I wouldn't say it's a proper turn-based strategy game or whatever. It still has a bit of that in it. And that does make it different, but I do like the look of Hearthstone more, and I'm super keen for that. I've been playing a little bit of Firefall, because I realized that their last open beta is coming up this weekend, although I do have access to it. But, Juniper decked Firefall. I had so many problems with my old PC. She doesn't have a name. I feel kind of bad about the fact that I didn't name her. I don't know. I'll think of a name for the old lady over there, but she had big problems with Firefall. I couldn't really play and record it properly on decent graphics, but now, now it's running really well. Really, really well. So I tried a bit of that. I haven't had an opportunity to try Marvel Heroes. I see I got Dust and Elysian Tale here. Skyward Collapse, I just started up and started playing. The devs of the game actually contacted me and said, hey, check this out. And I was like, yes! I'd love to. So, there's that. I see I got Star Trek Online on my desktop, which I don't know when I'm going to have a look at that. Jagged Alliance Online. Ooh, another one. Arcane Saga Online. Ragnarok 2 Online. So many online games. I take one thing away from the fact that these... Well, no, from what I said during the channel update video, one thing that is apparent to me is that people want to see videos of games like this. Games like these. Arcane Saga Online. Ragnarok Online 2. Jagged Alliance Online, well, that's slightly more known. But those other two, people don't know what those are. People don't want to download them on Steam and go through the effort of making an account and then leveling up a character to just see if the game is actually worth playing or not. I will do that for you guys. I'll make videos of these games, probably decent enough length videos. I'm looking at like a half an hour to an hour for each of them. Adventure worthies, obviously. And the reason I'll do that for these games before doing adventure worthies of other games is probably just mainly because, wow. They get a lot of views. People want to know what they are because they have no clue. And as I said, they don't want to go through the effort of setting it up themselves. So I'm going to look at those at some point, and now I'm just babbling. So let's get to the questions. That's what I've been doing. And I've been going crazy because I really, really don't like being unproductive. And I've also been trying to like figure out what I can do with Guild Wars, because that is still the one problem child in my relationship with YouTube. I don't know. But Guild Wars is such a difficult game for me at the moment because I don't know what to do with my coverage with it. I was telling Eileen it would be so nice if I could start a series up where it's not just a straight up let's play. It's not just a whole bunch of random commentated videos. It's not just a machinima style type thing. I want to do something where it can be me getting involved with the guild and doing things with guildmates. I want to be able to do stuff with my character by myself, like the personal story and all that. I want to be able to do the living story, is it called living story events and stuff like that. I want to be able to do the normal events like this new Dragon Bash thing. I want to be able to do all of that in this one series, and I'm just trying to think what the best way to do that would be. I don't want to just do a let's play of Guild Wars because that doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. You can't call it a let's play. I don't want to just upload random videos because I want some structure to it and I want to be able to do it consistently. So it's difficult for me. I told Elena I would love to call a series The Living Story just because it fits so nicely in. So I can say hello and welcome back to The Living Story in Guild Wars 2. I don't know. I just like the name The Living Story because that would be such an amazing name for a series. Having The Living Story at the start of my titles. Wow. I was thinking of creating a new Mesmer. Playing with that, doing all that stuff with a new Mesmer. But again, I'm not sure how I'm going to go about it. If you guys have any suggestions about that, feel free to tell me. Now, we're going to start with the questions because I need to finish this at a not too late hour. It's 10:35 p.m. at the moment. And Helene is already getting ready for bed. She needs to wake up in the morning for Pilates. I don't want to disappoint her. So, Firestorm123. Lumin, what would you do if you had a 40 meg download plus upload line? Would it change what content and how much content you release and upload, if at all? So that's a very interesting question. And I would say yes, definitely yes. Now, the main issue we have here is that it's super slow. Obviously, our internet, our upload speed, everything, download's okay. We get 425 kilobytes a second max, and our upload is just half a meg, which is like 52 kilobytes a second up, and that's really, really, really slow. I think this Q&A, if it ends up being like 2 gigs or something, will probably take about 16 hours. That's a guesstimate, I'm not sure exactly, but it's slow. So if I had a really fast internet connection, what would change would be I would not have the stress of both trying to record the video and edit, commentate, blah, 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 and then try and manage the uploads, because I would just be able to start an upload and have it finish an hour or so later or whatever. I don't even know how fast. It would probably be unfathomably fast for me, but it would cut a whole bunch of management out for me and give me a lot more time. Now, I've gotten really good at starting uploads at the right times and seeing how long it's going to take, just based on their sizes and when they're going to finish and when I'm going to have them live based on all of that. So I've learned to live with it. I'd be able to, do well enough. But the main thing is that it would give me a lot more freedom and I wouldn't really have to worry about it at all. So for newsmans, for instance, which is another big pain, they end up being really small, but I have to actually sit and wait for them to upload, and sometimes I get them up really late. And I suppose I would probably, for my Let's Plays, start getting out more of them, like 1 video a day for each Let's Play. So, because I have a lot of Metro videos just sitting around waiting to upload, probably 3 or 4 extra still right now, and I'd upload them. People want to see Metro, sure, I'd be flooding subscription boxes, but people who unsubscribe because of too many Lumin videos, they probably didn't want to be subscribed in the first place. Now, another big thing that I'd be able to do if I had a line like that I'd definitely be able to stream. I'd be able to go on podcast without lagging them into oblivion. I'd be able to stream my own gameplay and stuff like that while recording and then also uploading it to YouTube. Stuff like that would be amazing for me. That would be really cool. I guess I'd still not be able to really play competitively online on international servers, because even having such a fast line here wouldn't improve my latency over the sea or over the continent of Africa to European or US servers. So having a faster line would help out immensely. It would be great to be able to upload things nice and fast. Sometimes I record things like this, they end up being too long, then they get started. Say I finish recording this tonight, then I start to upload. Maybe it only finishes tonight or tomorrow night at like 12 o'clock. Then I'm already in bed and it can only go live the next day. It's tough. It would help out a lot. I suppose I was wrong in saying the main thing would just be to make it easier for me. The main thing would probably be for streaming, but hey, there you go. Wow. I better not take so long to answer all the questions because that was a terrible answer. Now, X-Audit. I still don't know how to say that name. What do you think about BioShock Infinite thus far? Do you like Rosalind Lattès and the gentleman? By the gentleman, do you mean... what is his name? Robert Lattès? The other Lattès? Or the same Lattès? Oh, ooh, wow. Look at me. Understanding what's going on because they told me what's going on. Sorry. I need to calm down. I'm sorry. I'm struggling a bit, but it's fine. Now, I think it's really cool so far. I don't know what the big hubbub is about the story, what the big fuss is about how mind-blowing it is. Are they saving the best for the very last moment in the game? Because if so, I don't know. I like it when a game has a big twist, like halfway, 3/4 of the way through, and then you still have to play and either live with what you had to do or what happened, or you just get to play and experience things totally differently, or you get to play and know something sinister or dastardly's happened or happening. You know, it's a different way of doing it, I guess, having it all the way at the end, having the big twist at the end, because that also means that it'll be fresh in my mind when I record a post-impressions video of the game or whatever. But I don't know. It's been really good so far. I think that the actual gameplay of the game it's reasonably good. It's not amazing. It really isn't. The gunplay is solid. I do prefer shooting things and people and stuff in Metro Last Light. It feels much better in there. But, you know, the guns, the vigors, all that stuff, the gear, it's okay. Nothing super special. What I really like is Elizabeth. Not just because she's beautiful or she's my favorite AI character ever or anything like that. I just think that they did such a good job with her as, I suppose I could say, a person, because she has so much personality. So much. For an NPC, for an AI, it's not an NPC, I suppose. You could call it something completely different. But for a character in a game, the amount of character she has is just off the hook. Seriously. What they did with her impresses me every time I interact with her. So that alone has been my favorite part of the game thus far. The storytelling has been pretty cool. They give you just enough to get you like really interested, and then they just sort of stray you away a little bit, lead you away from the whole big plot that's going on, and then they catch you again with something big. The whole back and forth thing with her being Comstock's child and then not Comstock's child and then Comstock's child and then not Comstock's child. Well, I suppose it wasn't really back and forth, but the whole thing about whose child she's been or is or isn't or was supposed to be, that's been pretty fun. All of it's been pretty fun. I've been enjoying the voxophones and stuff like that. So I gotta say that I really enjoy the game thus far. I don't know if I'd call it Game of the Year material or anything like that. I'd have to wait, finish it, see what's happening at the end, see what this big, momentous plot twist is that everyone's going on about. I don't know how I haven't been spoiled yet, but hey, I haven't. I guess I was spoiled on some minor things like the Lattesses, but that was something that sort of spoon-fed to you at certain points anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but whatever. Fluffy Fish 94 or 094. How did you come up with the glorious name Lumin? So that was actually, I suppose I should just say I don't know, but The name Lumin comes from Tales of Lumin, which was a book series that I was working on, and Lumin is the name of the world that the series is set in, the planet it's set on. I suppose I should say planet, but yes, that's a bit of a hint. Maybe the story is interplanetary. Oh, well. I think if I had to go back and work on that now, with all the knowledge I've picked up since I started on YouTube, it's more knowledge about myself and what I like and don't like. More so that than anything else. Then I'd probably make some drastic changes to how the story is told, I guess, and what happens in it. But it's from Tales of Lumin, which just happens to be the name of my channel. I don't even know what would have happened if I didn't call my channel Tales of Lumin. I dread thinking about my channel possibly being called Starcraft Pulse. It could have been, because I started the series Starcraft Pulse as like the very first thing I was doing, and that would have been bad if I still had Starcraft in my channel title all these years later, a full 3 years later. That wouldn't have been much fun. Anyway, that's how I came up with the name. I don't know how the actual name Lumin came to me. I remember at some point, a couple of years ago, probably 3-4 years ago, having a dream about glowing gems, crystals of sorts. And this dream inspired, I think that's pretty much where it all started. And I integrated that into the story. It's actually a very big part of the story. And I think it all spawned from that. I can't say, and I'm not going to spoil what's going on with that because I still want to do something with it. But I think it all came from that. Interesting, isn't it? I think so. Now, Maximus Klez. I've been watching your videos for a while now and have heard you say that you and Eileen were writing a book called Tales of Lumin. I was wondering how it was going with your little world, and thank you for answering my question. Consider the previous answer your answer. I haven't worked on it for a really long time, but if I do start again, things are going to change. I'm going to have to probably start from the bottom up. I'll keep the world and everything in it and just maybe redo the story a little bit. Use what I've got to create a new tale of epic proportions, hopefully. I still want to try and figure out how I'm going to do it, but we'll see. Then, Dane the Raven, have you ever thought of coming up with some swag for us to buy? T-shirts, coffee mugs with your logo on, etc. And also, after seeing Defiance and PlanetSide 2, what are you hoping Destiny does or doesn't do in comparison? Good question. The swag, I'm still trying to think of what I can do with it. I think I mentioned a while ago that someone contacted me probably about a year and a half ago about making t-shirts, making t-shirt design, stuff like that. But I haven't gotten back to him or her yet. And I don't even know if I still have that email. But I need to try and figure out what kind of designs I'd put on a t-shirt or whatever. And who I'd go through to do it. Who I'd maybe get to design these things. Because I am not good enough at designing things to set something like that up. There's a question about the logo and where it came from in a little bit. So just wait for that, if you were wondering. Now, let's move on. Dane the Raven, that was you who just did that. Oh, right. Defiance and PlanetSide 2. I, firstly, am super keen for Destiny, especially considering that they said it might come to PC. I hope that there's a bit more freedom and... Sorry. Oh. You know, I haven't played very much of Defiance, so I don't really know how it works with its zones and world map and stuff, but I know how PlanetSide works, and I don't like the fact that you're on this big map, and I suppose I also don't... I don't like the way that the map was set up, and PlanetSide is not really an MMO. Okay, it's an MMO FPS, but I feel that Destiny is going to be more of an MMO in the traditional sense where you're going to have things that you can go and do with friends against AI or NPC opponents or whatever. There's going to be like dungeons to raid and what I suppose I could call them instances, events, stuff like that. It'll be more of a mashup between PlanetSide and something like Guild Wars or whatever, where the way you play it will be more like Guild Wars, but you'll be controlling it like you do PlanetSide, I guess. And that is exactly what I want from the game. PlanetSide is purely competitive in that sense. And while I'm sure Destiny will have some competition in it, it won't be quite as much. And the whole game won't be based around that. So I personally just hope that with Destiny, they give us a whole lot of customizability when it comes to your character and how you want to play the game. And I suppose it must just be fun. PlanetSide 2 is reasonably fun, but as I said, it is just competitive, and that is a little bit difficult. You know, you don't always want the stress of playing against other people or trying to do well enough for, you know, to be useful to your teammates or whatever. That is not always the most fun thing ever. I suppose Defiance could do that differently. Maybe. I also hope they do something sort of like Guild Wars where you can actually do most of what you want to do right from the start. That would be kind of fun. I don't know much about Destiny, so I can't really say... I do know what they've said thus far, but I can't really say that, you know, this is definitely not going to be in the game, or this is definitely how they're going to do it, or how they're not going to do it. But I just hope that it'll be fun playing, they'll give us enough freedom, and it won't just be like Halo Online or something like that, because that would be so frustrating. I can see already that it seems to be much more than that, but hey, that's it. Must just not focus too much on one thing. Sort of like Guild Wars, but they must also just do a little bit better than ArenaNet are doing post-launch. Now, XR8 again, are you excited for the Oculus Rift virtual reality headset? No. I don't know. I don't like the idea of it. I don't know why people are even watching videos of Oculus Rift playthroughs or gameplay or whatever on YouTube, because it seems so pointless. Can you even watch that on 3D monitor to have it look 3D? I don't think so. I think that's specific to Oculus Rift stuff. But I personally, I'd like to try it one day, but it's not something that I'm really interested in at all, or excited for at all. No. I like how PCs are, how they play games, and I'll stick with it. It's fun. So, UK pro gamers, what's your favorite game of all time from the UK? I would say that would be a tie between Ultima 7 and Quake 3 Arena. That's it. Those two games. I know that there are a whole lot of others that are like right on their heels. There are so many like classic RPGs from back in the day, like the Baldur's Gate series or whatever, the Final Fantasy games, the other Ultimas. Trying to think now. There are a whole lot. I'm really bad at remembering, but there are a whole lot that would be like right there with them. But those two, they had the biggest influence on my life, and they definitely two of the games that I had the most fun with. So there, those two. Muffin Mania 236. You don't look like you're spending much time at the gym. Either that or you're doing it wrong. Then there's another one. So I just thought I'd address that. I wouldn't say I spend a lot of time at the gym. When we do go, I haven't been for the last week and a half. But that's mainly because of sickness and the untimely happening of it. But when we do go, we go for like 40 minutes to an hour maybe. And I suppose we go most days. So 5 to 6 days a week, I guess. And I don't really push myself to any extremes. I'm not trying to build huge muscles. I just want to be healthy. I don't really care about the rest. That's it. I'm not going to make any sort of significant progress at the gym. I want to be healthy. I want to be the best Lumin I can be. And that's that. So there you go. I don't think I'm doing it wrong either. I've got like the best personal trainer in the world in the form of Helen, and she knows everything there is to know. Now, how could you possibly live off 1,000 views per video or so on average? That's from Muffin as well. I have explained this before. I get paid in dollars, and because of that, dollars are like gold here. They convert very well into rands, and because of that, I get paid a decent enough amount every month, and we don't pay rent in our house. We are paying for electricity now ourselves, which is a real pain, but we just don't pay rent, which I suppose is a really big thing. We don't pay much for petrol and stuff because we don't really drive anywhere, and hey, the cost of living for us here is actually kind of low. We buy everything the cheapest we can buy. We don't, eat out or eat takeaways very often. We don't waste money. We live a humble life, and we're happy with it. So, there you go. That's how, I guess. Thanks to my parents. Being amazing and not living here anymore. And also being unwilling to let go of the house because they want a house in town, even though they're living on the farm now. Then, Tub A222, or Tuba222. I used to live in Joburg, or South Africa, when I was young, and Joburg and South Africa. One of the things that I really miss now living in the UK is biltong. Have you ever tried biltong, and if so, do you like it? Happy memories of biltong, happy that. So for those that don't know what biltong is, I think it's just beef jerky. I think that's what it is. Dried meat. I think it's called beef jerky. I don't know. And yes, of course I've had biltong. I've had it many, 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 many times. Too many times to count. We actually lived on a farm once where we made biltong. We didn't hunt any livestock or whatever to make it with. We were provided that by other people in the area, and then we made it. But in my life, I've had it a whole lot. And I like it. I really do. Some of it I don't like as much as other, but there's nothing not to like. I'm not ashamed of being a meat eater because, hey, that's just not something one should be ashamed of. I have nothing against vegetarians or being vegetarian. I'd probably live quite happily as a vegetarian, but I do like my meat. My protein. There you go. So yes, I like it. Tastes delicious. And I suppose it does make a difference where you get it or who made it or whatever, but in general, it's really good. Undius Maximus. Hey Lumin, I came in late to your vid, so you might have answered these already. What's your real name? Sven. S-V-E-N, or Sven. I am used to being called Sven, or Sven, or not Sven. No one calls me Sven. Sven. There you go. What's your backup plan for work or career in the future? And then part B of this is, what skills do you have that can help in whatever area of work you would be considering to get into, i.e. maths, so you could be a good architect or something else like that. So, backup plan, I don't really have one. I'm not good at this whole life thing, okay? I sort of jumped into this without considering anything else, but I am actually a very motivated and driven person, and I don't think I'd have any trouble whatsoever doing almost any job out there. As a backup plan, if I had to say what I would want to do, now, knowing what I know, and after having done what I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years, I would say that I'd probably work with people. I'd do something that involves me interacting with other people, and if I do it well, if I get those interactions done smoothly, it'll benefit me and the company I work for, or the company I start up, or whatever. I would work with people, and I just think that I would do it incredibly well because I have realized over the past couple of years in my life that it's actually something that I enjoy doing. I really do, and it's not something I get to do a lot of here, but when I get the opportunity to interact with other people, I make the best of it. So I don't know, backup plan, wow, geez. Working with people, hey, you could become a waiter, then you could work with people all day long. No, nothing like that. But if I had to theoretically, hypothetically fail at YouTube and have to go and look for a different job, I don't think I'd have much trouble finding one. I suppose the current situation in South Africa is a little bit dire when it comes to jobs, but still, I'd make myself seem invaluable to my potential employer and they'd hire me. There you go. That's that. I don't know what skills I have. I'm a people person. I wasn't terribly good at maths. I suppose I could be a teacher. There's that. I actually know how to teach English as a foreign language. There you go. I've got a certificate and everything. Or, I don't know what they call it. Is it a diploma? I don't know. I did a course. I know how to do it officially. And I could apparently just fly overseas and do that for a living. For a reasonably decent living, I guess. So there you go. I guess that could be my backup plan. But I'd have to pack Helene and Nero in a suitcase to take them with. Now, Dr. Yiggles. Just one question for you I was curious about. Would you be considering playing WildStar on a regular basis when it launches, or when you'll be able to show videos of it off? I just feel the colorful comedic style of the game would be a great fit for your personality. It really would. It really would. That said, I'm super keen for WildStar. They have sadly not started any public, open, even closed betas yet. They're still doing stress tests or something like that. I know they started like an internal-ish beta with a heavy NDA. And I'm assuming because of the fact that they're at that point already, it won't be long now till they start something else up. But once I can put videos out of it, I will. I think that, as with Starbound, Cube World, and some other games, YouTube is going to be completely oversaturated with people trying to make it big with WildStar. I know there are some people already out there who are rebranding their channels for WildStar, even though the game's not out yet. I look at that and I don't know. I don't know how people can, and I know this sounds very rude or negative of me, but I don't know why people, I suppose it's for search hits or results or whatever, but I don't know why people waste time and effort on trying to predict the future in a way like that, where they could instead be working on bettering themselves as commentators, working on different or better ways to edit or put together their videos, working on content for their current subscribers that actually matter, not trying to think about potential subscribers. And I know you have to do that. Don't get me wrong, I know that you have to do that. I understand that, but some of the people that are doing this predicting the future thing really could work a whole lot on their commentary, their editing, the way they put the videos together, just the whole lot of it. Now, I again don't want to sound rude or condescending or anything like that. I just don't understand it. I honestly just don't get it. That's what it is. A lack of comprehension, nothing else. So, yes, the game looks amazing. Looks like a perfect fit for me. I will try it out. I might, however, just end up with the same problem that I have with Guild Wars and not knowing what to do with it. I was speaking to Eileen about Guild Wars and saying that I should have actually stuck with the adventure guides and kept doing them, the adventure recaps and guides, and just carried on with it for like the living story stuff, the big events and all that. But it's too late now. The chances are I'm going to do an adventure recap for Dragon Bash because it's not living story, so it's easier to cover. I don't know what that was. That was a laugh and a cough at the same time, and it felt like I was going to vomit. I apologize. Anyway, I'm okay. I want to do an adventure recap for Dragon Bash because it's sort of the same as the Winter's Day event, the Halloween event, the Lost Shores thing with the Karka. They were more isolated events. Mainly the Halloween and Winter's Day events. This Dragon Bash feels like the first big ones since those. So I'm definitely going to do an adventure recap for that once I can. And I'm hoping that maybe ArenaNet pick it up. You guys can share it when I actually release it, and maybe they'll do something with it. But it hasn't been worth it for me since doing those for all the events happening. And because I've already missed the living story of Flame and Frost, and I suppose some of the Lost Shores, not Lost Shores, the South Sun content, because I've missed some of that and missed opportunities to record some of that. I can't put adventure recaps together for them now, so I'm not going to go back and do them for now, retroactively or whatever, because, I mean, I would want to, because it would fill up my collection or whatever, but I don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I got to talking about Guild Wars again. Just was talking about Wildstar and then whatever. The Blood Bros asks, what accent do you have? South African. Western Cape. Mixed with something else. I don't know. A lot of South Africans say that I don't really sound like a South African. But hey, I actually do. More so than I would sound like any other nationality. So I guess I sound like a South African. That's the accent I have. The actual Vimple. Hey Lumin, could you consider making a new playthrough of the Yog box for Minecraft? It's a mod pack for Minecraft. It's great. Even comes with the texture pack. It almost feels like a new game. So I want to get back into Minecraft at some point. Mainly just to finish the Love Rail. There's another question about that coming up soon. And then, I don't know. I suppose when I do that, I could do other stuff with it. But I don't know. It's going to be difficult for me to get back into that and to fit it in and stuff. Once I finish BioShock and Metro, I think when I finish BioShock already, I'm going to start with Skyrim first, because I feel that Skyrim is one thing that a lot of people are really waiting for. And after that's up and running smoothly again, then we'll see about Minecraft and everything else. Maybe I'll make a scheduled Minecraft thing for like once a week or twice a week or whatever. Maybe I'll schedule that a little bit more, but we'll see. Then, Fiasco Deuce. Lumin, your 70s glass always raises a question for me. Out there in South Africa, what is the drinking water like? Is it safe? Not so safe. Can you drink water straight from the tap, or does it need some proper filtration to go... Oh, straight from the tap, or does some proper filtration have to go on before consumption? Wow, you typed that perfectly. I just didn't read it right. So, the water's fine. It really is for most of us in the country. There are a lot of people that don't have clean drinking water or easily accessible drinking water. But I would say for a lot of this country specifically, it's much worse in other countries in Africa. Much, much, much worse. But for us here, I would say for the middle class in South Africa, even the lower class, it's okay. Our water from the tap is perfect. I drink out of the tap every day of my life. We have a little filter thing on the tap, on the one tap in the house, but I don't always drink there, okay? We use that for if we like fill bottles to put in the water for the fridge or whatever. Bottles to put in the water. Bottles of water to put in the fridge for drinking. We do that sometimes, but the water from the tap is fine. For instance, my parents, they have a borehole up on the farm. Their water tastes totally different to ours because it's much more natural and stuff like that. And a lot of people here in our town actually have boreholes as well. Most of them actually just have those for watering their gardens or filling their pools or whatever, and they don't drink from it. But the water is in general perfectly fine, perfectly safe. People that don't have access to water in their houses generally don't need to go very far to find a tap or something like that with clean water. But I would say that it's definitely better than other countries or what you've seen on like Discovery Channel or where, you know, that kind of thing. It's not that bad. And I'm talking from, I suppose, compared to a lot of people in South Africa, a pretty privileged point of view. But still, I understand how it is all the way at the bottom. I understand how it is all the way at the top. And I'm saying that it doesn't look that bad here. In some parts of the country, it's worse than in others. But there you have it. Isabella Vicente. Hey Lumin, are you allergic to anything? I know you've answered this many, many times, but I'll ask again. How do I go about joining your guild in Guild Wars 2? So the second one, I'll answer that first. You can go leave a post on the forums, or you can just whisper anyone in the guild that's online and ask, can I join? And then they'll probably just ask in the guild, is there anyone can invite this lovely lady? And then you'll get invited. It's quite easy. Then, allergic. I had a very high intolerance to lactose when I was younger, and it came back in my teens, and then it went away again. So I've got an on and off relationship with milk or lactose, not just specifically milk, but milk products. But other than that, I think I was diagnosed with a pollen allergy, which also kind of just went away. So no, I'm not deadly allergic to anything at the moment, but it does seem to come and go. MBeat13, I know that South Africa, much like the town I live in, is very multicultural. Because of this, I was wondering if you're bilingual. If so, what other language do you speak? I speak Afrikaans, and I don't speak it very well because I don't speak it very much anymore. I also speak a bit of German, even worse. I understand every single word of German that's spoken to me, but I just don't speak it very well myself. The main reason for that is because we were raised with a German father, and his whole side of the family ended up being German too, just because of that, and we were interacting with them a lot. And the reason we were exposed to as much Afrikaans as we were is because when we were younger, we lived on farms and stuff, and the closest schools were Afrikaans ones, so we went and did our schooling in Afrikaans all the way to standard 5, grade 7. I did Afrikaans schooling, and after that I switched to English, which was a bit difficult, kind of challenging, but it was okay. And now I can nearly speak 3 languages, which is nice. I like it. Now, Mordred P777, hey Lumin. And for those wondering, Afrikaans is very much like Dutch. It's a spin-off of Dutch. Sounds a bit different, but it's much the same. Hey Lumin, I commented on another video. You said you were going to do something with the Walking Dead game. Are the plans still out there, or have you scrapped the idea? I haven't scrapped the idea. It was actually meant for a big occurrence, a momentous occasion on the channel, which hasn't happened yet because, well, various reasons that we kind of discussed in the May channel update. I think you can figure the rest of that out for yourselves. But it was going to be happening for that, and I guess I just never got around to doing it because we weren't close enough to that time yet. So there you go. Excuse me. Now, David Gaming 100. As you speak English and Afrikaans, and you speak both just as good, can you think in both languages? And which do you normally think in? I think in English. I'm actually an English boy. I was raised mostly English in an English household, and the Afrikaans that I was exposed to was just my friends, my schooling, stuff like that. I can think in Afrikaans very fluently. I've done it before because with all my schooling I had to think in Afrikaans. But I don't find myself ever just randomly thinking in Afrikaans. I was always, when I went to school, that English boy because I was in a class full of Afrikaans people, and I was that one guy over there that no one, I'm not going to say that no one liked because, I had no problems at school being sociable. That's actually something I've answered many times already. I wasn't the popular kid. I wasn't the loser kid or whatever you would want to call it, the unpopular kid. I was in the middle. But I was that English guy. That guy who always did really well in his English tests and exams, and everyone resented him for that. That was me. That guy there. But, that's it. Now, Captain Tree. Hey, Lumin. Let's see how far we are down the list. We're doing okay. Hey, Lumin. My question for you is, how did you and Lean meet? I always enjoy hearing the tale of two lovebirds. Also, congratulations, and I hope you two have a spectacular wedding. Thank you. We met at a LAN party, as most people call it. Where you take your computers to a place and you play games against each other. LANs are a big thing, or were a much bigger thing in South Africa because of the terrible internet. Because you can't really play online, and you can't really download stuff very fast or anything like that. So people went to LANs to play against each other, to copy stuff from each other. That kind of thing. And I met her there for the first time. We didn't just fall in love immediately. I fell in love with her immediately, but I don't think she even really... maybe she did actually. She told me she saw me, and I was that guy who was always laughing or something. I don't know. That's what she said to me. And I was always hanging out with the cool guys at the LAN. Okay, I had the good seats in the house. And, you know, she was not. She was there with her brother. And I didn't really approach her or anything like that at the first time I saw her at the first LAN she was at. And after I met her there, we actually chatted for a whole long time online. And then I think I went to her house. And no, I saw her at another LAN. I saw her at multiple LANs actually. And we started, you know, speaking to each other and stuff. I chatted to her online. I went to her house. We basically just became friends. And from there, things happened. She actually moved in with me really, really, really quickly. Like really quickly. But anyway. Let's see. Nizzy. Wow, that's an amazing nickname. Will you ever play Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2 when it's released? So I've got Dark Souls Prepare to Die. I'm trying to look if it's here. It's not here. Prepare to Die edition or something like that on PC right now. I haven't even installed it or downloaded it yet. I want to. Maybe I'll do an adventure worthy of it. Torture worthy. Maybe I can make that a new series. See where the games are torture worthy, like Dark Souls or Super Meat Boy. There aren't enough games to do a series like that, but still, you get the idea. Maybe I'll do an adventure worthy on it. It might actually even be on my list. I got such a long list right here in this mangy pouch for my phone. You know, this pouch has saved my phone so many times. But I got such a long list of games that I want to do adventure worthies on. And I'm just not getting... Ooh, Thunderwolves. I can tick that off the list. I use this reminders thing on my iPhone. Let's see if I can get it to focus on... I can't. It's not going to focus. But the reminders menu tab app thing. And it's really cool. It works. I made an adventure-worthy sub-menu. I made a Let's Play sub-menu. I made a other sub-menu. And I've got a long list of games here that I still want to do. I will add, right here while you guys are watching, Demon Souls to it. There you go. It's on. And I'll get to it eventually. I'm keen for it though. It looks like a lot of fun. Trevor Sherwood, hi Lumin. My question this week is, I did say in one of your other videos, but you never answered it. So more of an idea. Would you ever do interviews with your subscribers? You'd have to elaborate on that. I don't know what you mean by interviews. Would I be doing the interviewing or would you be interviewing me? Either way, it would be a bit difficult. I've actually been asked for interviews before and I've said no because... Why is Steam opening now? Because I generally just don't find the time for stuff like that. Or I think to myself, you know, maybe I should rather spend it doing adventure worthies or recording stuff or whatever. I have a very tough time. It's a constant battle going on in my mind with myself about what I should and shouldn't be doing. But I don't know, if you explain to me more precisely what you mean, maybe I'll consider doing it, but it's not something I've thought of yet. Kevin Flynn, hi Swen, it's me again. Hope everything's okay. Yes, everything is fine except for the sickness. Some questions. What music do you listen to and what kind of tattoos does Eileen have and which one's her favorite? I listen to video game music exclusively right now, so that's pretty much it. I don't have any specific tastes. I love Final Fantasy music. I think that's probably my favorite of the lot. Square Enix music in general is just really good, but there are so many soundtracks out there that I'm listening to at the moment that, well, I don't really listen to music. I don't sit down and just listen, but I have it playing in the background sometimes when I need to, you know, have something distracting on, because I can't, generally when I do something like look for news or set up a video or something like that, I like to have things just quiet so I can think, and that's that. So when I do listen to music, it's in the car or when I'm not doing anything or maybe in bed from my phone, whatever. But I listen to video game music almost exclusively now and I like it a lot. Then Helene has like a pin-up girl thing on the outside of her arm. She's got a skeleton on the inside of her arm, but a cute little skeleton, not like a scary one that she designed herself. And then she's got a star on her shoulder. And those, I would say that her favorite's probably the skeleton thing, because she designed that herself, and it's cute. It really is. It's very nice. I don't see myself getting a tattoo if it's not something... Sorry. I don't see myself getting a tattoo just for the sake of it. I would only get a tattoo if it really meant something, or... Yeah, if it really meant something. That's actually the only reason I would ever consider for getting a tattoo. Then, where was I? Sorry, I'm still sick. I know it's been an hour, but I'm still sick. I haven't miraculously been cured yet. Hello again, Lumin. This is from Rogue Gecko 74. If Bethesda make Fallout 4, which they probably will, what do you want to see in it? Everything we saw in Fallout 3 and New Vegas and all the DLCs and stuff for them, just better. That's it. I want to see more of Fallout. They did so well. I want to see a bigger overworld, more places to explore, much better visuals. I want them to get creative with a story. I do. But not like BioShock Infinite creative. More like Fallout creative. Yes. I want them to do something special with it, and I would like it if they could change the setting a little bit. Because, you know, the whole Fallout series, thus far at least, has been set in the US. What if they moved it somewhere else? What if it was in South America? What happened down there during the apocalypse? What about Fallout Australia? Hey, I like the sound of that. Rush, give us some of that. That's what I want from Fallout. More Fallout. That's it. Killerstick1, do you believe in any aliens? Explain. No. And yes, I believe it's really silly believing that us here on Earth are the only life forms out there in this huge universe that we're in. I'm positive that there are other races or species or whatever out there. We just haven't come into contact with them yet. So I suppose we could call them aliens, and if so, then I'd say yes, I believe in them. I just do think that it is really ignorant to believe that us, the human race on Earth, that we are the only people in existence. The only living beings in existence. I think that's silly. After seeing comparisons of how minute Earth is in the grand scale of the universe out there, it just makes you think about all the possibilities. So yes, I suppose I do believe in aliens. I don't believe in the little UFO flying ones from XCOM, but you know what I mean. Dweemer Builder, hi Lumin, do you play Pokemon, or did you play Pokemon, or do you still play it? If so, what's your favorite? Because I heard the Poke Center theme on your Adventure Worthy episodes. Yes, I have Pokemon Black and White on the Nintendo DS that we don't use nearly enough. The reason I don't use the DS enough is because of this silly contraption here. I end up playing games and stuff on my iPhone instead of on the DS, which is silly. I need to get myself Zelda on it at some point, and I want to get Pokemon Black and White 2, and I want to get Pokemon X and Y, and I want to play them. We've got the 3DS, we just don't use it. Anyway, my favorite, I don't know, I don't have a favorite. I honestly don't have a favorite. I just love Pokemon in general. The idea of Pokemon. I wish they'd make a Pokemon MMO where there's none of this region business where there's only 150 Pokemons in each region. They should just put all 1,000 of them in the game, in this big MMO that they're going to create, let you explore all the regions from all the Pokemon games past, present, and future, and just work on that the whole time. Keep updating that, make it playable on 3DS via Wi-Fi or whatever, or offline, whatever, I don't really care, but just make it a persistent world with everything in it. I realize that would mean that they wouldn't sell quite as many units as they'd want, but still, we want it, so do it. Then, Justin DOW2JJ. I have a very serious question. Here it comes. You better explain yourself. Why the heck didn't you finish the love rail for Helen? That was all in caps, but my throat is not doing so well, so I'm not going to shout it or anything. I actually kind of answered that before. Not really, not completely. I just didn't continue with Minecraft because... And I'm so sad that there are these choices that I keep making with my channel that are probably the choices that are doing more bad than anything else. It's just, I keep missing opportunities, and I think Minecraft probably was an opportunity. I should have stuck with Minecraft because I could have been like some of the other big YouTubers out there that are huge because of Minecraft. I know looking back at it now, it doesn't really matter. You know, hindsight is always much easier, but you know, it still bothers me sometimes that I miss these opportunities, and I should have jumped on the Minecraft bandwagon when it came out and stuck with it. Sure, I would have had a bunch of Minecraft subscribers, but still, I would have been able to make the transition after that, and that would have been amazing. There are other games that I missed as well. I should probably have stuck with doing more Guild Wars content. I should have probably stuck with doing more Starcraft content. I don't know. Maybe I'm just built for doing general gaming stuff, doing what I enjoy doing. Maybe that's it. We'll see. But I will get back to Minecraft eventually. I think it'll be soon. I'm not sure. Legend of Tomorrow. Hey Lumin, I was watching older videos in your Skyrim playlist, and something you said made me laugh for like 5 minutes straight. When you saw Talon J in the Bee and Bob and said he had hypno-frog eyes. How did you come up with that? Can't wait to hear the answer. Warm sands to you, Lumin. Warm sands to you as well. Tomorrow. So I think I said Hypnotoad eyes, and Hypnotoad is from Futurama, which is one of my all-time favorite animated series, which has sadly already been cancelled for the final time now. The last season of it is coming out, which is going to be 7 episodes or something this month or next month. They're starting it. Really sad about that. But hey, it was amazing. I'm probably going to go download or something all the Futurama seasons right from the very beginning and start watching them again, just because. I might have done that before, but I'll do it again. That's why I said it. Because he looked like Hypnotoad. Hypnotoad is this toad that they have on the TVs that has these big swirly eyes that hypnotizes everyone watching, and this is obviously a way for them to have something on TV that's inexpensive and keeps everyone watching forever. So they probably have Hypnotoad for like an hour straight, advert, Hypnotoad, advert, Hypnotoad, advert, and that's perfect. That is perfect. Sort of like reality TV is nowadays. That's what Hypnotoad is in Futurama. Fiasco Deuce. Lumin, a few more questions. How old are you and Helen? I'm 27. Helen is 25. I'm turning 28 on the 1st of September of this year. It's funny, I'm actually older than... Who am I older than? Total Biscuit. There you go. I'm about a few months, I think, if not a year, older than Total Biscuit. I am younger than Force, younger than Jesse, older than Dodger. Just trying to think of the other big YouTubers out there. I don't know how old the Yogscast guys are, but there you go. Quick comparisons for you. And where was I? Were you born and raised in South Africa? And the next one is, do you love living in South Africa? And hypothetically speaking, if you had the money and money to securely move Would you, and why? And when is the next cooking vlog? The next cooking vlog was already uploaded since the previous Q&A. We're going to have another one within the next week or two. We're going to try to do them like once a month. As for born and raised South Africa, yes. 100%. Stay. Moving away. Interesting. I think if we had the opportunity to move safely and securely and the money, we probably wouldn't. Unless it got to a point where we needed to for some reason. But if we had that kind of money, then we would rather live more safely and securely somewhere around here. Have a better life. Because there are obviously things that we'd be able to improve about our lives. A lot of things if we were making more money. And that's not something I'd, elaborate on right now. But I would rather try and stay here where it is kind of inexpensive to live. And if I make more money at some point, then I'll just put that towards giving Helene a better life, giving Nero a better life, and giving myself a better life here. So there. Now, Isabella Vicente. Hi again, Lumin. Another question. Where did your emblem or logo originate? Did you find it somewhere or make it? I'm very curious. So I told Helene to make me a logo. I told her that I love cyberpunky stuff. I like steampunky stuff. I like Starcraft. And the Zerg logo. Yes. So she took the Zerg logo of Starcraft. That's that swirly one. And she steampunked it up. She cyberpunk and steampunked it up. There's not so much cyberpunk, more steampunked it up. And then she ended up with that. But she designed the whole thing herself in Photoshop CS5 or 4 or whatever. And I was so impressed by it. She designed all of it. She did it by hand. Then she did this little funny, is it called vectors? No, it's not called vectors. This funny thing where you make the shapes and stuff so that the corners are perfect and so you can get a really high resolution version of it. She did such a thing to make it perfect, and I'm proud of her for doing it because it's an amazing logo, and I'm trying to get it branded into my channel everywhere. I'm just not really sure what I'm doing with this new one channel layout, but yes, it's really cool. So tell Eileen she's an amazing artist or logo designer or whatever you want to call it, because she is. Dr. Eagles, hey Lumin, thought of another question. Since coming across a game called Marvel Heroes that is coming out in a few months, would you consider playing Marvel Heroes or at least doing an adventure worthy? It's on my list, it's on my desktop, I'm going to do it. It's probably not going to be very much fun because I've heard so many bad things about it, but I'm going to do it. Solicitus. Solicitous. Solicitous. Solicitous? Is that really a word? Did you really just make me say solicitous? Okay. Solicitous. This question's from Solicitous. Because of this thing that I've got, because I'm dyslexic, I don't generally, and this is why I'm bad at reading. I know I don't have to explain this now, but I feel I should. I don't actually read words. That's funny. It's funny, but it's true. So it's actually a thing that a lot of dyslexic people do, is they go through a sentence or something, and I've over the last couple of years I've realized that is something that I do a lot more than I really should be, but they go through the sentence, then they recognize the words. I know this is how most people do it actually because of repetition and stuff, but I just go through it all and I recognize the words, and oh, that's that word, oh, that's that word, oh, that's that word, and sure, that's actually what reading is, yes. But when it comes to actually spelling them out letter for letter with a word that I don't understand, then I struggle. Oh, do I struggle. Same thing comes when I have to type them out or whatever, then I keep mixing the letters up. The letters are all there, they're just muddled up in the wrong order. I can still read it just fine. It looks like the same word to me, but I ended up writing or typing it differently. Anyway, so solicitous. Does that even say that? I think so. So if you're colorblind, oh wow, and the question's about being colorblind. That's straight up amazing. Not that I have a problem with the question, but I'm just talking about being dyslexic, and then colorblind pops up. If you're colorblind, and my colorblindness is so minimalistically small. If you're colorblind, would you get artificial eyes? Like the elusive man has in Mass Effect, to see what it's like to not be colorblind if you could. I see colors perfectly. I see most colors perfectly. It's just when there's a certain combination of colors together in a close enough area, proximity, whatever you want to call it, then everything just becomes a big smudge. There are actually colorblind tests that you can do out there, where they'll give you these round circles with like dots of dots, but then there are numbers on them. Go look at that. Then imagine looking at that and seeing these circles. You can just type colorblind test on Google and you'll find probably the first page will have those things on. But you look at those, and then the way I see them is, and like literally 90% of them, is that I see the circle with the dots, and that's it. I don't see the number at all. I just see the circle, lots of little colorful dots, and that's it. So that's what it's like being colorblind. And it's not something I really care about, because I don't really miss things very much. When it comes to gaming and stuff like that, some games have colorblind mode options, whatever, but things like Guild Wars, for instance, when there's a red circle on the ground and it's on green grass, then I don't see it. There you go. Or in Dota or something like that, when they have these red markers that come on the grounds, same thing. But it's not worth getting an optical implant or anything like that. K. Andert. Getting close to the bottom now. People watch your videos with ad blockers on. Does it hurt your income or does it not matter? It does. I will not go out and say disable the ad blockers or whatever, because sometimes the ads are extremely long and boring and irritating and whatever. I understand why people use ad blockers, but yes, they do actually prevent the ad from actually playing, and the fact that the ad plays is what actually gives me the hit on my video on the ad, which in turn gives me the income. So I suppose it does. If you don't need the ad blockers when you visit YouTube, if you can disable them for just YouTube, then go ahead and do it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jack West. Hi, Lumin. Have you played ST2 recently? Starcraft 2. And you still have the willing to do something of that kind on your channel? If yes, have you thought about bringing the Illuminati into SC2 as well? I just started on the game because I love strategy. Still have a few problems with the real-time part in RTS though. I won my first match but lost the next 3. I completely understand that. I haven't been playing StarCraft at all. I want to do something with StarCraft soon. I actually wanted to jump back into Diablo at some point. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do and I'm not getting around to it. The second this sickness is gone, I'm gonna crunch out so many videos and get started on so many things and try and get all the things I wanted to do off the ground. I'm really gonna push to make that 100,000 subscriber at the end of the year thing a reality. I realize it is like extremely unlikely that I get 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Something miraculous would have to happen, like seriously, crazily, miraculously, amazingly special. Something like that would have to happen for me to get to that point. I mean, if I even just get to 50,000 by the end of the year, I'll be happy. Geez, if I get to 30,000 by the end of the year, it'd probably be a miracle at the speed that things are going at right now. But I want to say that I am aiming for that 100,000. I will try my best to try and get to that. And there are a lot of things I need to do along the way. StarCraft 2 could potentially be one of those things. And I think that, sadly, the one thing that I really need to do is collaborate with other people. But doing that with my internet connection, it's difficult. Then, Lineman RT71. Hey Lumin, if you're the main character of a video game, what kind of video game would it be? What would it be called? Also, what's your favorite book? I haven't read very many books in my life. I'm ashamed of that fact, but I haven't. I'm really enjoying the Malazan Book of the Fallen series, I think it's called. That's been so long since I've read, but I was enjoying that when I was reading it. I would say, just because of my familiarity with them and because I've read all of them, the Forgotten Realms Artemis and Treri series with him and John Laxell. I've said this before, but that little series of 3 books, can't remember what they were called. What were they called? By R.A. Salvatore. Those 3 books, with the 2 of them in, were really, really good. Really good. I enjoyed those. And I actually read most of R.A. Salvatore's work, and I enjoyed a lot of them. I can't remember what got me started on it. I think I started by reading 1,000 Orcs or something, but anyway. I've also been unable to get myself the latest R.A. Salvatore books, and I'll tell you why. Because the bookstores here in South Africa do not stock them anymore. Forgotten Realms is a thing of the past. The sci-fi fantasy section is now Twilight, Game of Thrones, and what's the other series? There's another one. I can't remember. But it's that. They've pushed Forgotten Realms so far off the shelves that they're non-existent anymore, and I can't find those books. So, you know, if you know of any websites internationally that would deliver those books to South Africa, let me know so I can buy them for myself. Because I stopped reading at... Let me look. You know, let me just open a browser up and look. R.A. Salvatore. I hope it's going to be okay just opening his wiki page. I should be able to find what I need there. Come on, internet. So, let's see. The Cell Swords. That's the series I was talking about with Artemis and Treri and John Laxell. The first book I ever read was 1,000 Orcs. And then I read that and I thought to myself, geez Louise, this is a good book. I like reading about this Drizzt guy. I'm going to go back and start all the way at the beginning. And that's what I did. Started on Homeland, went all the way through chronologically. And the ones I haven't read... Look. The Neverwinter series. No. I can't believe it. Gauntlgrim, Neverwinter, Charon's Claw, The Last Threshold. These are all out. They're all out. And I haven't read them yet. Okay. One day I'll have a look at these books. I got up to the end of the Transition series, which is The Ghost King, and I really enjoyed that. I never got to start on Gauntlgrim because South Africa just doesn't get stuff like this. It was released all the way back in 2010. Man, such a slacker. I also read The Stowaway. I want to get The Shadow Mask and The Sentinels. There are so many books here that I want to see. I should just make a video where I sit and stare at the wiki page of R.A. Salvatore and talk. I could do that. I read the Saga of the First King, the Highwayman, the Ancient, and the Dame, and they were all also kind of good. Did I read the Bear as well? I might have read the Bear. It doesn't even have its own wiki page. Get out of here. But, sorry. Getting carried away and I can't help it. I'm so excited that there are so many books that I can still read. You know, the R.A. Salvatore books are actually light reading compared to something like Game of Thrones or the Malazan books, but I enjoy it. Reading is meant to be fun, and for someone like myself that's not very good at it, that ends up being fun. So, I don't even know where we were. Oh, there was a question. So, main character of a video game. What would the game be and what would it be called? Grand Adventure to Everywhere. I don't know what the game would be called. That sounds like a good name though. It would have to be an adventure-filled RPG. That's probably the kind of game it would be, I would say. You'd roleplay the grandest adventurer, Lumin, which would be me. And that's it. That's the kind of game it would be. That's the name it would have, and that's pretty much it. I don't know. I'm not very good at game design, apparently. So, the next question. Bumfrey. What's up, Lumin? Here's my question for your monthly Q&A. He called it a monthly Q&A. Well done, Bumfrey. You know what's actually happening here. What's your opinion on Athene's gaming for good movement and charity drive? I think Athene is doing nothing but good, and he's so clever with what he does. I've said this before, but I think Athene's a genius. He makes and stirs up all this controversy surrounding him and all the different gaming scenes, like now, for instance, the League of Legends scene, and because of this, he gets a whole lot of views, he gets a whole lot of ad revenue. I'm very sure he's honest about what he's doing. He's not trying to cheat anyone out of money. He has the best intentions. He has nothing but good in his mind, except when he's trying to do things sinister to irritate people, to get more views, to get more money, to save them children. I just think that some people do see it in the wrong way and they're very vocal about it. But he is clearly making a difference, and it's amazing. If I could ever do something like that with my life, I would jump at it. I really would. But, next question. Mr. Stocktown 209. Hey Lumin, what are your top 5 pet peeves? Bad drivers. Bad drivers. People that take their frustrations at work out on you as the customer. I suppose that's a pet peeve, isn't it? I suppose that's getting a bit deep, though. I think it is. I think it's getting a bit deep, but I'll stick with that. I'm just trying to think, like, right off the top of my head now, what else? Being sick, could that be a pet peeve? I dislike people. I dislike it when people, and this is another thing, it's all to do with productivity. I dislike it when people are given an opportunity and squander it. I dislike it when people, for instance, are given a job and then they just whatever. They don't do it. They don't care about it. They don't appreciate it. That irritates me. I think that my pet peeves are a little bit too deep. I should be saying, like, I hate stepping in dog poo. That's what I should be saying. I can't really say I hate that, though. I don't really care. I'm indifferent. When it comes to stepping in drop-ins, I'm completely indifferent. I just don't care. I don't know. So those are the kind of pet peeves that I have. I think too much about things like that. But it's only when they're happening that I think about them. I don't come and sit here and, that guy that was rude to me at the till today. Why? Why was he rude? What was going on inside his noggin? I don't do that. I don't. As much as I want to say I do, I don't. But top 5 pet peeves. Wow. I don't really have bad drivers. And we have a lot of them here. Right outside our house, we have the driving school come in with their little pupils. So they park outside our bedroom window every morning, and that's where they pull away from. So he sits there and tells them, look here, look there, press this, press that, there's the gear lever, do this, do that, and then they pull away there. But it irritates me when these people do things wrong, and it, in turn, does damage to others. Because it's happened a lot. It's not cool. And I don't mean the driving school people. They have the right to be terrible at driving, especially if it's their first time. I just mean bad drivers in general. It's not fair on everyone out there if you go out and cause accidents. Because lives are at risk. People's livelihoods are at risk. It's just not cool. Anyway. So, do you believe in, this is from the same person, do you believe in aliens or ghosts or Bigfoot? Aliens, we've discussed. I say yes. Bigfoot and ghosts, no. No, I don't. Then, Mr. Minipin. Hi Lumin, YouTube announced their paid subscription service. Is it something you would consider doing? I find your content very entertaining and relaxing and would gladly pay for it regularly. I don't think I'd ever get to the point where I'd want to charge you guys to watch my videos. Really, I wouldn't. And I don't think that my videos are good enough quality to, be paid for. I honestly don't think that. But I don't know. No, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't consider that. I do get paid for you guys just watching the ads. And that really is enough for me. So the chances are slim that I'd do that. John Smith. John Smith. Wow. If you're not American, then I just don't know. I like John Smith. It's a welcoming name. A homely name. Lumin, have you seen or read Shingeki no Kyojin? Shingeki no Kyojin. Attack on Titan. Oh, why didn't I just read that at first? You can watch it on Crunchyroll. I have no idea what Crunchyroll is, and I have no idea what Attack on Titan is. So no, I've not seen it. I apologize. I'll Google it right after this, just so that I know what it is when you reprimand me for that fact that I don't know what it is when this gets uploaded. But I'll check it out. And that is sadly the last question. I'm closing it. Wow. This ended up being longer than I wanted it to be, but if I do happen to get a super long list of questions next time, I might have to cut a few out. I will just mention that the ones that were cut out were mentioned in previous Q&As or something like that. Whatever. So if you do have any questions for next week, feel free to leave them below. If you just watched for the sake of watching, thank you very much. You're amazing. I appreciate the fact that you made it to the end. That's amazing too. Check back here soon for more. I'm going to go die in bed now, hopefully. Hopefully in bed, not hopefully die. I have to go and brush my teeth. I have to drink some medicine first. I have to start this upload. I need to make a Metro video live. There's a few things I need to do. It's 10 to 12, so hopefully it's not going to take too long because I want to get to bed. And that's it. Check back some more. I apologize for the quality of this Q&A and all the mistakes I no doubt made because my mind is working. It's full of snot and stuff, okay? Working much slower than it should be, and I'm just sick. Won't be long. I'm thinking that by tomorrow, the next day, I should be okay for recording. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to do a newsman again because the pre-E3 events have started up already, and there'll probably be a good amount to talk about. And then over the weekend, I'm guessing I'll also just be dedicating a lot of time to newsmans to try and cover the E3 stuff as it comes out. But we'll see. We'll see what I do. I'm hoping I'm going to be ready for that and ready for recording all this stuff on my desktop here soon because I want to get back to it. And I feel that you guys deserve more than I'm giving you right now. And I want to start making the best of everything here. So, check back some more, most importantly though. Happy leaving those questions for next week's Q&A. Happy that.